My parents defend my brother cheated with my fiancée. But my final decision left them all in utter shock forever. I got home 3 days early. The project in Tulsa wrapped up much faster than expected. Foundation inspections passed, permits were signed, and everything was completed by Thursday instead of Sunday. My boss smiled and told me to take the extra days off. I thought about staying grabbing a drink at a bar. Maybe catching a game, but I hadn't seen Zara in 2 weeks. I missed her. Badly. So I drove straight to the airport, caught the last flight out, and landed around 10:00 p.m. I didn't text her. Wanted it to be a surprise. Grabbed flowers from the 24-hour grocery near our apartment, those cheap ones that come in plastic sleeves, but she always said she liked them better than the fancy stuff. More real, she'd say. I remember thinking about that on the drive over, how she always preferred real things. I parked in our usual spot, 3rd floor of the garage next to the stairwell. Grabbed my bag, the flowers, headed up to the apartment. Our apartment, the one we'd been living in for a year and a half, the one where we'd been planning the wedding. Date set for next April. Venue booked, invitations already designed. I unlocked the door quietly. Didn't want to scare her. The living room was dark. TV off. Her laptop closed on the coffee table. I figured she'd gone to bed early. She'd mentioned being tired in her last text. Then I heard it. Laughter from the bedroom. Not just her laugh, 2 voices. One of them I knew too well. I stopped in the hallway. Flowers still in my hand. Duffel bag over my shoulder. For a second, I thought maybe I was wrong. Maybe she was watching something on her phone. Maybe she had a friend over and I was about to walk in and feel like an idiot for what I was thinking. But I knew that laugh. Knox, my brother. I stood there for maybe 10 seconds. Not moving, not breathing, just processing. Then I walked to the bedroom door. Didn't rush. Didn't hesitate either. Just walked. Pushed it open. Zara was on top of him. My bed, my sheets, the ones we'd picked out together at that home goods store because she wanted something soft, and I didn't care as long as she was happy. They both froze. Her face went white. Knox scrambled, tried to pull the blanket up, started to say something. I looked at them, really looked, saw Zara's necklace, the one I bought her for our first anniversary, sitting on the nightstand. Saw Knox's shirt on the floor next to my side of the bed. Saw the wine glasses on the dresser. They'd been comfortable. This wasn't a first time. Something inside me just clicked off. Not anger, not even hurt, really. Just this cold, clear realization that the person I thought I knew didn't exist. Neither of them did. Zara started crying. Ashton. I held up my hand, didn't say anything, just held it up. She stopped. Knox tried next. Bro, just let me explain. I looked at him. My little brother. The guy I'd helped get his first job. The one I'd co-signed a car loan for when his credit was crap. The one who called me 2 months ago asking for advice about a girl he was seeing. Guess I know who that was now. I walked to the closet, dropped the flowers in the trash can by the door. Didn't even think about it. Just did it. Pulled out my duffel bag, started packing. Zara was saying something, crying, reaching for me. I moved around her like she was furniture. Grabbed my laptop, chargers, the documents from the fireproof box, passport, birth certificate, insurance papers, 3 changes of clothes, toiletries from the bathroom. Knox was pulling on his pants, trying to get between me and the door. Ashton, please just talk to me. I looked at him. Didn't stop packing. Don't, I said. That's all, just that one word. He stepped back. 15 minutes. That's how long it took to pack everything that mattered. Everything else, furniture, kitchen stuff, all the wedding planning materials scattered around the apartment. None of it meant anything anymore. I walked past both of them. Zara grabbed my arm. I gently removed her hand. Didn't look at her face. Couldn't. Got to the door. Knox said my name one more time. I left. Drove to the nearest hotel. Extended stay place off the highway. Checked in. Went to the room, sat on the bed, didn't cry, didn't punch anything, didn't call anyone, just sat there. My phone started blowing up around midnight. Texts from Zara, calls from Knox. I turned off the sound, watched the notifications pile up on the screen. By 3:00 a.m., I couldn't sleep. So, I opened my phone, started making a list. Not a list of feelings, not a list of things to say or people to call, a list of connections. Every business contact I'd shared with Knox, every client I'd referred to Zara, every financial tie to my parents, every piece of my life that was tangled up with theirs. I stared at it for a long time. Watched the cursor blink at the end, then I opened a new document. Titled it Exit Strategy and started writing. I was at the gym by 6:00 a.m. Didn't sleep. Didn't see the point. Just showered, changed, and hit the 24-hour place 2 blocks from the hotel. Treadmill first, then weights, mechanical, focused. Every rep counted out in my head instead of thinking about anything else. My phone was face down on the bench. I could see it lighting up every few minutes. Messages, calls, voicemails piling up. I didn't touch it. Finished my workout around 7:45, grabbed coffee from the place next door, black, sat in my car in the parking lot and finally looked at the phone. Zara 44 messages started with apologies, moved to explanations, ended with anger. You can't just leave like this. We need to talk. You're being cruel. Knox 23 missed calls, 11 voicemails I didn't listen to. And then at 8:03 a.m., my mom. I stared at her name on the screen, let it ring 4 times before I answered. Ashton, her voice was already shaking. Oh, sweetheart, Knox told us everything. I leaned back in the driver's seat, took a sip of coffee, said nothing. He feels terrible, she continued. He's absolutely torn up about this. He made a mistake, honey. A terrible, terrible mistake. But Mom, he's your brother and he loves you. And Zara, geez. Mom. She stopped. I'm listening. I said calm. Even that seemed to encourage her. She launched into it. Family forgiveness. How Knox didn't mean for it to happen. How these things are complicated. How everyone makes mistakes and what matters is how you move forward. I let her talk, gave her ma'am and I understand and I hear you in the right places. She started to sound relieved like she was getting through to me. Your father wants to talk to you this weekend, she said. We're having dinner Sunday. Just family. We can work through this together. Sweetheart. We can. I'll think about it, I said. Oh. She sounded surprised. Hopeful. Oh, that's good. That's really good, honey. I'm so glad you're being reasonable about this. Reasonable. I have to go. Mom. Work stuff. Of course. Of course. But you'll think about Sunday. Yeah, I'll think about it. I hung up, didn't think about it for even a second. Around 10:00 a.m., my sister Vera texted, I just heard. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? I looked at the message for a while. Vera was different from the rest of them. Genuinely kind. Actually gave a crap. But I also knew exactly who she was. The peacekeeper. The one who'd feel horrible about what Knox did but still show up to family dinners because someone has to keep everyone together. She meant well. That was the problem. I texted back, I'm fine. Just need some time. Do you want to talk? Not yet. But can you keep me updated on what's happening at home? Of course. Whatever you need. Perfect. 2 weeks later, I was in Dallas. The transfer happened fast. I called my regional director, told him I needed a change. Didn't explain why. Didn't have to. I'd been talking about Dallas as a career move for months. Anyway, he made it happen in 3 days. New apartment. 8th floor, downtown. View of the skyline. Nicer than the old place. More expensive, too, but I could afford it now that I wasn't splitting rent or saving for a wedding. I bought new furniture. Minimalist stuff. Nothing that reminded me of before. New gym, new coffee spot, new running route. I didn't post anything on social media. Didn't update my relationship status. Just disappeared from that life. The only person I told was Vera. Meanwhile, I was building something else. I pulled up every project I'd worked on for the past 5 years. Cross-referenced every contact. Started mapping it out in a spreadsheet that would have made my old engineering professors proud. Knox's career. 3 major deals came from people I introduced him to. His big break at Riverside Development. That was my firm's project. I vouched for him when he had 0 experience. Zara's freelance work. Her top 3 clients all came through me. College friends, former colleagues, people who hired her because I recommended her. My parents' lifestyle. I've been quietly covering things for years. The country club membership I expensed through work. The car leases I co-signed when their credit took a hit during Dad's investment phase. The home equity line backed by my income. I documented everything. Built the spreadsheet like I was planning a construction project. Foundation, support beams, load-bearing walls. Turned out I was the load-bearing wall for all of them. 3 months in, Vera sent a picture, family dinner, everyone around the table. Knox and Zara sitting next to each other. My parents smiling. Vera and her husband across from them. The caption, they announced they're taking things seriously. Mom and Dad seem supportive. I don't know how to feel about this. I zoomed in. Knox had his arm around Zara's shoulders. Casual, comfortable, like they'd been together for years. Zara was wearing the necklace, the one I bought her, still wearing it. I stared at that photo for a long time. Then I closed it, didn't respond to Vera. Instead, I scrolled through my contacts, found the number for Greg Whitmore, development consultant I'd worked with on the Riverside project. We'd stayed in touch. He'd mentioned Knox was trying to pitch him on a new partnership. I called him. Ashton, how's Dallas treating you? Good. Real good. Hey, you got a minute? Wanted to talk about some project opportunities? Always. What's on your mind? Couple things. First, you still working with my brother? Pause. We've been talking. Nothing finalized yet, right? Well, I've got some other partnerships I'm working on. Might be a better fit. You free for lunch next week for you? Absolutely. I hung up, opened the spreadsheet, started checking boxes. The withdrawal had begun. 6 months disappeared faster than I expected. Dallas became home. Not in a nostalgic way, just in the way that matters. I knew which coffee shop opened earliest, which routes avoided traffic, which bars had the best happy hour deals. Work was good, better than good. I got promoted to senior project manager in April. The regional director pulled me aside after a major presentation. Said I was operating at a different level since the transfer. He wasn't wrong. Turned out I had a lot more focus when I wasn't spending energy on a relationship that was rotting from the inside. I started dating. Nothing serious. A software sales rep named Bianca I met at a networking event. We got drinks sometimes, kept it casual. She didn't ask about my past and I didn't offer. Clean slate felt good. But I was also building something else. Quietly, methodically, every 2 weeks, Vera checked in. Knox proposed to Zara. They're planning a spring wedding. Mom and Dad are throwing them an engagement party. The family is really coming together. Everyone keeps saying how strong Knox and Zara are. She always added something like, I know it's hard to hear. I'm sorry, but I thought you'd want to know. I always responded the same way. Thanks for keeping me updated. What Vera didn't realize was that every update gave me exactly what I needed. Timeline, progress, confirmation that they'd fully committed to the narrative where I was the problem and they were the victims who found love in the aftermath. Perfect. I started making moves. Zara's biggest client, Meridian Creative, had been with her for almost 2 years. I'd introduced her to the CEO, Troy Hutchkins, back when we were engaged. He'd been my classmate at Georgia Tech. Good guy. We'd stayed in touch. I called him in May. Troy, how's the Meridian rebrand going? Solid. Zara is doing good work. Why? Just checking in. Hey, you meet Jenna Pascal yet? She's a designer who just relocated here from Austin. Incredible portfolio. Specializes in tech branding. Yeah. Send me her info. I did introduce them via email. Let them take it from there. 2 weeks later, Zara mentioned losing a client. She seemed stressed about it. I didn't respond. Knox's commercial real estate business had been riding on momentum from the Riverside development deal. The deal I'd made possible. He'd been pitching himself as the guy who could connect projects with engineering firms using my network as proof of concept. I started redirecting that network. Called up 3 firms Knox had been courting, offered them better partnerships, projects with tighter margins, faster timelines, less risk. They didn't need much convincing. I had the track record. Knox had promises. One by one, they chose different partners. In June, Knox has been stressed lately. Some business deals fell through. He's been working crazy hours trying to make up for it. Me? That's rough. Yeah, he and Zara had a fight about it at dinner last week. She thinks he's not handling pressure well. Me, hope it works out. The financial stuff was trickier, had to be surgical. I've been covering my parents' country club membership through a corporate expense account, listing it as client entertainment venue access. Creative accounting, but not illegal. I've been doing it for 3 years because Mom loved it there and Dad's consulting income was inconsistent. I stopped in July. Just didn't submit the next quarter's payment. The car leases were co-signed, but the renewal was coming up in August. I contacted the dealership, had my name removed as co-signer, legal, clean. They'd have to qualify on their own credit now. The home equity line of credit, $75,000 limit, backed by my income verification. I had my lawyer send withdrawal paperwork, gave them 90 days notice, everything by the book. Nobody noticed at first. These things take time to show up, but they would. In August, Mom got a weird notice from the country club about overdue fees. She's confused because she thought it was automatically handled. Me? That's strange. In September, Knox lost another deal. He came to family dinner looking exhausted. Zara barely talked to him the whole night. In October, Dad's investment thing fell through. Something about financing. He seemed really frustrated. I read every message, acknowledged each one, gave nothing away. Then 2 weeks ago, my phone rang. Mom's number. I almost didn't answer, but I was curious. Ashton, her voice was different. Not crying this time. Just tired. Sweetheart, we need to talk. Okay, we're planning a family dinner, a reunion. It's been almost a year, honey, the family isn't whole without you. I waited. We miss you, she continued. We all do. Please, we need you there. There was shuffling. Then Knox's voice. Ash. He sounded rough. Strained. I know I don't deserve it. I know I screwed up. But we're still brothers, man. Please, let's just talk face to face. I stood up from my desk, walked to the window, looked out at the Dallas skyline. They were scrambling. I could hear it in their voices. After a long pause, I said, when? Mom's relief was immediate. 2 weeks from Saturday at the house, 6:00 p.m. I'll be there. Oh, sweetheart, thank you, thank you. So, see you then. I hung up. My phone buzzed immediately. Vera, did they call you? Are you actually going? Me? Yeah. It's time. Vera. Time for what? I looked at my reflection in the window, smiled slightly, didn't respond. Instead, I opened my calendar, blocked off that Saturday, booked a flight. Then I opened the spreadsheet one more time. Everything was already in motion. The deals redirected. The clients moved. The financial support withdrawn. They just didn't know it yet. This dinner wasn't about reconciliation. It was about them finally understanding what they'd lost. I closed my laptop. 2 weeks. I landed Friday night, rented a car at the airport, drove straight to a hotel near the highway, one of those generic business places with identical rooms and free breakfast. Didn't tell anyone I was in town early. Didn't drive by the old apartment, just checked in, unpacked, went to bed, slept fine. Saturday morning, I hit the hotel gym, worked out for an hour, showered, got a haircut at the place across the street, put on dark jeans and a button down. Nothing fancy, but sharp, confident. I looked at myself in the mirror before I left. Felt nothing. That was good. I drove to my parents' house at exactly 5:55 p.m. Pulled into the driveway behind Vera's SUV and Knox's truck. Sat in the car for a moment. Checked my phone one last time. No messages that mattered. Got out, walked to the front door. It opened before I could knock. Mom. She looked older. Not drastically. Just tired. Her smile was too big. Too eager. Ashton. Oh. Sweetheart. You came. She went for a hug. I let her. Didn't hug back, just stood there until she pulled away. Come in, come in. Everyone's here. The house smelled the same. Pot roast and vanilla candles. I followed her into the dining room. Dad stood up from his chair at the head of the table, extended his hand. I shook it. Firm. Professional. Son. Dad. Vera was there, aimed and calm. She gave me a small wave, eyes uncertain. Knox and Zara sat on the opposite side, shoulder to shoulder. Knox tried to smile. It didn't reach his eyes. Zara wouldn't look at me. I took the empty seat at the far end of the table. The one I always sat in growing up. Can I get you something to drink? Mom was already moving toward the kitchen. Wine? Beer? We have. Water's fine. She brought it, set it down in front of me with shaking hands. Everyone sat. The silence was thick. Dad cleared his throat. Well, it's good to have everyone together. Yeah, Knox said too quickly. It's been too long. I took a sip of water, said nothing. Mom started serving food. Pot roast, mashed potatoes, green beans. My childhood favorites. The manipulation was obvious, but I had to give her credit for trying. We ate. Small talk happened around me. Vera asked about my job. I gave short answers. Tommy mentioned a baseball game. Dad made a joke that nobody laughed at. Knox kept glancing at me every few seconds like he was waiting for something to detonate. Zara pushed food around her plate. I ate calmly normally, like I was at a business dinner with strangers. After about 20 minutes, Dad sat down his fork. All right, I think we need to address the elephant in the room. I looked up, waited. Son, we asked you here because it's time to clear the air. Move forward. We're family. Okay, I said. Mom jumped in immediately. We know things have been hard. We know you were hurt, but sweetheart, family is forever. People make mistakes, terrible mistakes, but what matters is how we heal from them. She was tearing up already. Knox and Sada, what happened between them wasn't planned. They didn't mean to hurt you. But they found something real. And as painful as that is, we have to acknowledge it. Zara was crying now. Silent tears. Knox leaned forward. Ash, I'm so sorry. I've been sorry every single day for the past year. What I did was unforgivable. I know that. But I've grown. I've learned from it. And I need my brother back. Man, his voice cracked on the last word. I know I don't deserve it, he continued. But we're blood. That has to count for something. Zara finally spoke. Quiet. Broken. I never wanted to hurt you, Ashton. I hope you know that. And I hope one day you can be happy for us. They all looked at me, waiting for the reaction, the tears, the anger, the forgiveness, whatever would let them close this chapter and move on. I leaned back in my chair, took a sip of water. You done? The tone was even, almost curious. Dad blinked. Ashton, we're trying to. No. I set down my glass. You're not trying to anything. You're performing. You've already decided how this story goes. I'm just the last signature you need. The room went still. Mom opened her mouth. I kept talking. You brought me here for forgiveness, for closure, so you can all feel better about what happened and move on without the guilt. Knox shifted in his seat. That's not. It is. You've spent a year rewriting the narrative. Knox and Zara fell in love. I couldn't forgive. The family moved forward. I'm the problem because I left. I stood up. Not aggressive. Just done sitting. Here's what's actually going to happen. I'm going to talk. You're going to listen and then I'm going to leave and you're going to understand exactly what you've lost. Knox started to stand. Ash, come on. My eyes locked on him. No anger, just ice. Sit down. He sat. The whole room froze. Even Dad didn't move. I looked at each of them one by one. Let the silence stretch. Then I began. Knox. He looked up at me, tried to hold eye contact. You remember the Riverside development deal? The one that launched your whole career? He nodded slowly. That happened because my firm was consulting on the infrastructure. I connected you with a project lead. Vouched for you when you had zero experience. I know and I've always been grateful. The Hastings Commercial Partnership, the Northgate Plaza project, the financing for your independent practice. His face was going pale. All of those happened because of connections I made, people I introduced you to, recommendations I gave. I turned to Zara. She was staring at her plate. Zara, Meridian Creative, your biggest client for 2 years, the one that's been paying your rent. She looked up, eyes red. I referred you. Troy Hutchkins is my college buddy. I told him you were talented and trustworthy. Her lip trembled. Silverton Tech, Cascade Brands, Palmer & Associates, 3 of your top 5 contracts. All people I introduced you to. I looked at my parents. Mom's smile was gone. Mom. Dad, your country club membership, the one you've been enjoying for 3 years. Dad's jaw tightened. I've been covering it through my corporate expense account about $8,000 a year. Creative accounting. But it worked. Mom's hand went to her mouth. The car leases, both of them co-signed under my name and credit. Dad, Ashton, we didn't ask you to. The home equity line. $75,000 limit approved because of my income backing it. The room went silent. Vera was staring at me. Tommy looked confused. Knox found his voice first. Okay. So you helped us. We're grateful for that. We've always been. I'm not done. He stopped. I stayed standing. Calm. Precise. 6 months ago, I started removing myself from all of it. Knox's face changed. What? Meridian Creative. I introduced Troy to another designer, Jenna Pascal. They've been transitioning your contracts to her. Should be complete by next month. Zara. Zara's eyes went wide. What? Riverside Development's parent company. I redirected our partnership to Kellerman Group. They're Knox's direct competitor. Knox stood up. You can't just. Hastings Commercial, Northgate Plaza, the 3 other projects you were counting on. I steered them to other partners. None of those deals are happening. His face went red. The country club called about overdue fees because I stopped paying 4 months ago. The car leases are up for renewal next month. My name isn't on them anymore. You'll need to qualify on your own credit. Mom was crying now. Real crying. The home equity line. My lawyer filed withdrawal paperwork in August. 90 days notice. It's done. Dad slammed his hand on the table. This is vindictive. This is punishing all of us for what, Dad? For not sleeping with my fiancée. For you and Mom choosing family peace over accountability. For pretending it didn't matter. We gave you time. Dad's voice rose. We gave you space. What more do you want? I looked at him, cold. Nothing. I don't want anything from any of you. That's the point. Knox was pacing now. Panicked. Those deals. We have contracts. We have letters of intent based on partnerships that no longer exist. Read the fine print. Zara stood up shaking. Meridian can't just drop me. I have a contract. I have at will agreement. They can transition you out any time. I checked. Dad pointed at me. You can't do this. We're your family. We have shared. Shared what? Expenses. I was covering opportunities. I created support I provided while you all took and never once asked what it cost me. Mom was sobbing into her hands. We didn't know. We didn't know you were doing all of this. Exactly, you didn't know because you never asked. You just assumed the foundation would always be there. Knox came around the table. Desperate. Ashton, please. I'm begging you. Those projects are my livelihood. Zara's contracts are her income. We can't just. You should have thought about that before you decided my fiancé was worth losing your brother over. He grabbed my arm. You can't do this to us. I looked down at his hand, looked back up at his face. Let go. He didn't. Knox. My voice dropped. Let go of me. He released it. Stepped back. I adjusted my sleeve. You made a choice. You chose her over me. Mom and Dad chose keeping the peace over standing up for what was right. You all chose. I'm just respecting those choices. This is insane. Dad was on his feet now. This is vindictive and cruel in its consequences. I looked at Knox and Zara. They were both standing now. Knox looked like he might cry. Zara was shaking. You wanted to build a life together. Congratulations. Build it. Just not on my foundation. I turned toward the door. The room erupted. Knox. You're a vindictive piece of crap. You know that. Dad. This is unacceptable. We're still your family. You have obligations. Mom. Ashton. Please, sweetheart. Let's just talk about this. Zara was sobbing. Vera sat frozen, silent. Tommy looked like he wanted to disappear. I reached the doorway, stopped, didn't turn around. I'm not doing this because I hate you. I'm doing this because you made it clear I was expendable. So now you get to find out what happens when I'm actually gone. Knox's voice cracked behind me. We're brothers. No, we were brothers. Now you're just the guy who slept with my fiancée in my bed and thought I'd get over it. I walked out, got in my car. Through the window, I could see them. Knox pacing, hands in his hair. Dad pointing, shouting. Mom crying at the table. Zara standing there looking destroyed. Vera was the only one who looked at me through the window. Our eyes met. She didn't look angry, just sad, understanding. I started the car. My phone immediately lit up. Messages flooding in. Knox, you'll regret this. Mom, please come back inside. Please, Dad, this conversation isn't over. I put the phone on silent, dropped it in the cup holder, put the car in reverse, drove away. In the rear view mirror, I could see the house, lights on, silhouettes moving behind the windows, chaos I'd left behind. I turned onto the main road. Windows down. Music up. Heading to the airport. Back to Dallas. Back to my life. The life they had no part in anymore. 3 months later, I got promoted to regional director. Youngest in company history. The announcement came during the quarterly meeting. My boss gave a whole speech about leadership and vision and results. People clapped. I shook hands. Went back to my office and got to work. Life was good. Actually good. I've been seeing Bianca more regularly. Still casual. But comfortable. She was sharp, driven, didn't need me to be anything other than what I was. We got dinner twice a week, caught movies, kept it simple. Dallas felt right. The skyline, the traffic, the heat, all of it. This was my city now. Vera still texted every couple weeks. The updates came like clockwork. Always apologetic, always conflicted. But she never stopped going to family dinners. That was Vera stuck in the middle trying to hold everyone together even when there was nothing left to hold. Knox's business is struggling. 2 more deals fell through this month. He had to lay off his assistant. Zara took a full-time job at a small design firm. She seems really stressed. Mom and Dad are selling the house. They're calling it downsizing for retirement, but I heard them fighting about money last week. Family dinners are weird now. Everyone's tense. They keep asking if I've heard from you. I read every message. Sent back short responses. Thanks for the update. Sometimes just a thumbs up, never asked questions. Never engaged beyond acknowledgement. In April, Vera sent, Knox and Zara had a massive fight at dinner last night. She blamed him for ruining everything. He said, you were the one who's. A week later, Zara snapped at Mom, said something about this family's toxic patterns. Knox looked like he wanted to crawl under the table. May they're still together, but it's I don't know. Hence, they fight about money constantly about whose fault things are. I felt nothing reading them. Not satisfaction, not vindication, just distance. They were strangers now. People I used to know. In June, something changed. Vera, people are asking questions. The social circle Mom and Dad had. They're being polite but distant. Someone asked me at a charity event, what happened to you? I said, you moved for work. They seemed skeptical. Knox ran into Greg Whitmore. Asked about a project. Greg shut him down completely. Knox came home furious. Dad's investment opportunity fell through. The one he was so excited about. Turns out it was connected to your network. He didn't know until it collapsed. The invisible scaffolding was fully gone now. They were standing on nothing. 2 weeks ago, I got an email from Knox. Subject line, please read this. I stared at it for a full minute before opening. Ash, I know you won't respond. I know I don't deserve it, but I need you to know I've destroyed everything. My business is barely surviving. Zara and I are falling apart. She blames me for losing her clients. I blame myself for losing you. Mom and Dad are struggling financially. They won't admit it. But I can see it. The house sale, the downsizing, the stress. I lost my brother for nothing. Zara resents me. The family is a mess, and it's all my fault. I don't expect forgiveness. I need help. I'm drowning. Please. I read it once, moved the cursor to reply, hovered there for 10 seconds, then closed the email and archived it, blocked his email address, deleted the notification. That night, Bianca asked about my family over dinner. We were at this Italian place downtown. She'd been telling me about a case she won, civil rights lawsuit. Big victory. I was genuinely happy for her. You never talk about your family, she said. Are you guys close? I thought about how to answer that. We were long time ago. Not anymore. What happened? They chose sides when it mattered. I chose myself. She nodded. Didn't push. That's what I liked about her. Do you regret it? Cutting them off. I took a sip of wine. Actually considered the question. No, I regret trusting people who didn't deserve it. I regret not seeing them clearly earlier. But walking away, that saved me. They might try again. Probably. But I'm not the same person they're remembering. That guy who held everything together while everyone took. He doesn't exist anymore. Good, she said. He sounds exhausting, I laughed. Actually laughed. Yesterday, Vera sent a photo. Another family dinner, smaller table, different house. Knox and Zara sitting across from each other instead of next to each other. Mom looked older. Dad looked angry. Caption, this is what we are now. I looked at it for a long time, zoomed in on their faces. Knox looked tired, defeated. Zara looked trapped. Mom looked sad. Dad looked bitter. And Vera, sweet neutral. Vera looked exhausted from trying to keep them all together. I archived the message. Tonight, I'm on my balcony. City lights stretching out forever. Music playing inside. Bianca's in there somewhere, probably reading case files. My phone buzzes. Vera again. Knox asked me to reach out to you again. He's desperate. Should I tell him no? I type, tell him whatever you want. It doesn't matter. She doesn't respond. I set the phone down. Look out at Dallas. My city, my life, my terms. Somewhere back in that old town, they're sitting around a dinner table. Still trying to figure out how everything collapsed. Still fighting about whose fault it is. Still scrambling to hold together what I let go. Knox is probably checking his phone, waiting for a response that won't come. Zara is probably regretting every choice that led her here. Mom is probably crying about family. Dad is probably bitter, calling me vindictive, refusing to see his part in it. And Vera is probably sitting there caught in the middle, wishing things were different, but unwilling to choose. They thought they could replace me, build their life on the foundation I laid, and pretend I was replaceable. They were wrong. I finish my drink. Bianca calls from inside. You coming back in? Yeah. 1 second. I stand, take one last look at the skyline. I think about that night walking into the apartment, seeing the betrayal, feeling the switch flip. I don't regret the silence. Don't regret the calculation. Don't regret any of it. They wanted family unity. They got it just without me. I walk inside, close the door behind me. The guy they betrayed is gone. The man who walked away is exactly where he needs to be. Free. Whole. Untouchable. And I'm never looking back. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.